Yeah, morning, Kaz. Just wanted to, probably the only thing that was a bit hard to explain was the retaining wall on this side. So, yep, I've got your idea of the steps coming up. I sort of pushed them to one side, thinking that you wouldn't want them in the middle, and it might just be a pain in the ass actually recessing them in and having the retaining wall step in and out. So hopefully you're okay with that. Those are the deck piles, and they'll go down. So really, there's two options here. What we can do is the red signifies driven piles as retaining walls as well, because you wouldn't drill in concrete because the ground's so crap that it could crumble. So these would all be driven piles along everywhere there's red. There'll be driven piles at say 1800 centers. So there's one option of having a driven row of piles next to the house. I'm just going to unhide this for a minute. So really what it is, I've created this sort of, obviously you can't get through from that side, but there's almost like a path around the base of the house. So that'll be a row of driven piles, driven piles, driven piles, driven piles, driven piles, all driven piles in red. So that's one option. The other option is to actually make this wall a block wall and make it come out all the way to this red wall, which is the timber retaining wall going this way. Then you wouldn't need to retain next to the house and have this path. However, I thought it might be quite good for the studio to have their own door at the back of the garage at the laundry, to come out and to place their bins here, and you could probably put a screen across or something so that you had your bins, they had their bins. So I thought the timber retaining wall gap would be better than the block, plus you don't have any other blocks on site. This is all timber retaining. So that's one item there just to check out. Um, yeah, it also means that basically the stairs can come right to the end and the door's now in the back. So you'd get out of your car and you'd go, oh shit, actually, that's a good point, is, shit, didn't really think of that. Um, you can you can have that door there leading out to the service area, but in order to have these stairs leading up, um, they've pushed further down. So if we do put a door on this wall, the stairs are going to come further up, and you're going to be left with a single door there. It won't be a slider. It will have to be a single door because the stairs will move up. So yeah, it's a question of how important that internal access is. Um, That'll be the question there. The other thing is I was just going to show you how these retaining walls work. So on the boundary here, you'd have a retaining wall starting at 2.1, tapering out to nothing. And then these retaining walls here, so this would be a meter high maximum, and then I'll just put the ground level back in, and I'll put the ground level back in, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's basically what we discussed. Is you'd you'd basically you'd you'd make sure the ground level was a meter at that point, and then it would then slope up to that point, and you'd cut it down a bit, so it'd be a terrace. So you could plant in there. That could all be planting, but the full height wall would really start at the base of the stairs, leading up, which is a lot better. So I think that actually works really well. Yeah, so just think about, do you want this path down the side? If not, that wall there has to be a block wall. And secondly, how important is it to have internal access from the garage? If you do have internal access, the stairs have to move up, and that becomes a single door. You won't be able to get a slider in there. The rest of it's all looking pretty sweet. Like, it's been tweaked. I've tweaked all the windows as to what I would probably do with the windows, and just to keep the modular, keep the cost down. But hey, it's open. The most important thing are the sizes on the windows, as opposed to if they awning, sliding, etc. This window was just, I've moved it across just to get some morning sun straight into that sort of hallway area up the top. So Yeah, so that's that, Kaz. So just let me know. This will come with an email. So basically, the height of this driveway will match the height of the existing driveway on your neighbor's side. So that's kind of the slope coming into the site, which is pretty good, I think. It all sort of works really well. It's fairly flat. And then you've got your deck, the grass, retaining wall down this side. This is the one that I will find out about whether we can just fill the dirt into the existing retaining wall. But that's what it's looking at.